We start tonight with a look at new video showing the moments before and after someone in Anchorage witnessed a hit-and-run crash at the corner of Bragah and Mountain View that happened on Monday.
The woman who was hit was taken to the hospital for life-threatening injuries. Mountain View resident Richard Johnson saw it all play out. Here's how he and his girlfriend initially reacted.
Oh, God, you hit that guy.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
The video does not show the crash, but Johnson was close enough to see it out of camera view. Johnson said he saw two people at the corner waiting to cross, but it was obvious one was older or disabled. And he said when the woman at the corner started walking at the crosswalk, that's when Johnson says a black car drove through and hit her.
The person in the black car either did not see them or did not care. And they just continued right through the sidewalk. We saw the person go up into the front of the car, which is when my girlfriend screamed and jumped out of the car to go help.
Johnson says, again, called for help and parked his truck to help block traffic while things were figured out. No charges have been filed at this time.
Well, in Capitol coverage tonight, Governor Mike Dunleavy is asking lawmakers to approve tapping into state savings to fill a more than $1 billion gap to cover some expenses for the rest of this budget year.
The request for $426 million from the Constitutional Budget Reserve would be used to cover Medicaid, prison, and transportation costs. Also, areas like public assistance and the University of Alaska and senior benefits. It'll take 3/4 of the Senate and House to pass the request. Some lawmakers saying today they will, quote, grudgingly approve it, but expressed frustration over years of prison cost overruns. We're working on a budget breakdown right now, and that'll be posted soon on our website and mobile app.
Nearly 500 people from areas hit by the former Typhoon Halong still staying in shelters in hotels here in Anchorage. That's according to the Alaska Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management.
As of Monday, according to that same report, 216 evacuees from the storm have been transitioned out of Anchorage hotels to apartments. It was back on October 12th of last year. The former Typhoon Halong brought record-breaking winds and flooding to western Alaska, damaging thousands of buildings, roads, and boardwalks, and other critical infrastructure. The storm prompted the state's largest mass evacuation, sending most people to Bethel and Anchorage. On our website now and tonight on the late edition, you can hear a personal story from one man who's learning how to now call Anchorage home.
Well, and on that topic of relocation in western Alaska, lawmakers in Juneau had a lot to say about that this week. You can listen to the full conversation on our latest edition of Alaska's Political Pipeline with Will Courtney, available on our website, our mobile app, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Transitioning now, we are midway through the week and parts of Alaska have been cranking up the heat, at least for Alaska standards.
All right, there she is, Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry. Melissa, we saw some record temps, like hot.
Yes. So get this, 45 degrees in Anchorage this morning. That ties the record for today's date. Yesterday, we also set records in Anchorage and in Sitka with temperatures pushing close to those 50-degree temperatures, which we've seen across Southeast this week. Right now, cooling down a bit, 44 in Anchorage, 12 in Fairbanks, with still holding on to a little daylight there. Anchorage and Palmer both at 33. We are going to drop slightly below freezing overnight tonight. That means a lot of what has melted and thawed and is sitting as standing water on our roads right now will likely produce at least some ice overnight. So please keep that in mind for the morning commute. We are also still seeing wet conditions for the coastal areas of South Central. This area of low pressure just parked there in the northern Pacific, and we will still see very wet conditions in places like Seward, Whittier, Portage Valley, even into Cordova and into Valdez. Now, Anchorage, the mountains are going to block most, if not all, of this from moving in. Slight chance we see a little light rain moving in tomorrow afternoon. Otherwise, once that's done, we have one quick storm moving through southeast, but otherwise it's dry conditions for most of the state Friday and Saturday. And then we start to see that weather pattern switching up a bit as we head into early next week. But as for the next 24 hours, again, watch out for those temperatures holding in those upper 20s briefly overnight, low 30s, especially on the east side of town. And then it's mid 30s heading into tomorrow afternoon for Fairbanks. Not quite as warm as it's been the past couple days. 9 for your high, partly sunny. We will still see some rain showers in Juneau, but not the heavy rain like you've seen the past 2 days. And I do expect those sunshine, sunny rays, I should say, coming back to Bethel, highs there in the low 20s. So one more round of this to get through, and then we'll see some calmer conditions. But I do want to let you know about chances for snow increasing this weekend. I'll have that next.
All right, Melissa, thanks so much. Lots to follow there. And now the man charged with murdering his 87-year-old grandmother last month in Fairbanks did not show up for court today.
A 29-year-old Brian Davenport faces first-degree murder charges in the shooting death of Velma Kuntz last month. She was found shot to death in her wheelchair. Police say that her grandson confessed to the crime. Davenport's lawyer entered a not guilty plea on his behalf today. He remains held on $5 million bail at the Fairbanks Correctional Center. His next court date scheduled for February 26th.
And our coverage continues Sunday night after the Super Bowl as the suspect's father, who's also the victim's son, sits down with our investigative team. He details the years of mental health declines he says his son experienced before prosecutors say he shot and killed his grandmother. This story airs this Sunday on a special edition of Alaska's News Source at 8 p.m.
Well, the Anchorage Police Department says one of their own has been charged with operating under the influence. The department says officers responded to a vehicle in distress around 3 a.m. January 31st near Mirror Lake and the inbound Glen Highway, and that's when they noticed it was a mid-shift patrol sergeant, Corey Atkins, in his personal vehicle, they say, while he was off duty. After they conducted a field sobriety test, Atkins was taken into custody, processed, later released. They say Atkins has been placed on paid administrative leave as the investigation continues.
A Chugiak man is in jail today after federal prosecutors in Texas accused him of paying to smuggle a woman and her daughter from Honduras to Alaska. Court documents say he paid a smuggler through his Chugiak-based business, Black Bear Construction. This now on your screen is 43-year-old Douglas Price. He's now in custody in the Anchorage jail, charged with one count of conspiracy to bring a person into the United States illegally. Prosecutors shared in court documents a text message conversation between Price and the woman who told investigators she had met him when working together in the hotel remodeling business. Documents also show a screenshot of a $5,000 payment from Black Bear Construction to a number that in court documents they say was provided by smugglers. The arrest warrant in this case remains sealed by the South Texas Prosecutor's Office. We reached out to that office for further comment on the case, and they declined at this time, but we'll keep an eye on that story.
All right, there is a hospice program that is showing it is never too late to honor a veteran.
In today's Northern Front, Georgina Fernandez shows us how one veteran received a long overdue tribute this winter, decades after his service.
And then, there's Daddy.
Flipping through photos,
Good looking kid, huh?
they paint a treasure story.
Who's that cute couple?
Well, it's Ray and I.
Of Ray Debbingham and the life he created. These photos arguably sharing an easier time for his family. As Ray, a 90-year-old U.S. Air Force veteran, now spends his days on hospice care, surrounded by loved ones.
Kids here and my best grandkids here.
The final chapter together often spends sharing stories, reminiscing over the past.
I got all kinds of awards, but I also received an award for Businessman of the Year for Alaska.
And for this family, it's also spent creating new moments together.
I think it's really great.
As Ray's Hospice We Honor Veterans program celebrated him last week through a penning recognizing his 11 years of service.
Proud of my military service and proud of what I learned. And if it wasn't for the military service, I don't think I'd have ever got that job.
The hospice program thanking him and the sacrifices he made, an acknowledgement that Ray wasn't expecting.
Oh boy, I didn't think this would ever happen. I didn't think this would ever happen because of the joy that it gives me and the fact that I was not known as a service person.
For a service that to him holds so much value in life.
Anybody that misses the service, as far as I'm concerned, they're missing something in their life.
That value now recognized amongst his family for the service he did decades ago.
And if you serve it, it'll serve you.
and a reminder of the importance of his time in the Air Force. Georgia Fernandez, Alaska's news source.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.